we have this, I have this now new philosophy here in 2024 that, everything that you know and we know and love will become a Chinese restaurant or a Wingstop one day. Like very soon, all that's going to be here is Dave's Hot Chicken, McDonald's, and just chain fast food slop. It's about 75% of what we have now, and that percentage is like only going to increase. Like, hey, banks, no more banks. We've got Dunkin Donuts in banks now, you know what I mean? Like, you know what new and exciting business is opening up right in the parking lot of the movie theater just down the street? Another Starbucks, because we don't have one there's not a coffee shop in the mall. There's not a Starbucks right down the street. There's not one on the pike. You know what I mean? Like, you think another new business is going in there? It's going to be totally awesome and blow your mind. Just another Starbucks. Like, the brick and mortar dream in America is dead for about 80% of any and all industries. Unless you are like an ice cream or a brand that is somehow inevitably beyond something amazing, unless you are a one-of-a-kind thing and you go on Shark Tank and they're like, hey, you should be a franchise, and it blows up and it becomes a thing, then maybe we'll get something new. But until then, we just have to deal with getting a brand new Panera Bread and crumble cookie every, 9 to 18 months. And so as Americans, we just have to deal with that because that's where we live. That's where we live now. We have to open one of these locations per franchise, at least within a quarter mile of each other, whether it takes half of the revenue away or not at all, or just doubles in traffic, whatever the outcome may be, put as many properties out there. And within 10 years, we've at least made a profit. But if one has to close, it has to close. And that's where we're at. Like studio space, renting a space, leasing a space, like they're all literally out of reach for any small business or entrepreneur in most cases. There's a select few that might find a diamond in a rough, a place to rent, someone they know, a studio they go halves on. But like when it comes to creatives or entrepreneurs or people with small businesses, typically getting your own space or getting a studio or getting a creative space or somewhere where people come and get food from you or art or work or services or whatever it may be is, it's you have to shell out upwards of $1,200 a month. Find me somewhere to rent like studio office space in central Pennsylvania that doesn't cost more than $1,000 a month, because that's on top of your life, your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, your kids, your extracurricular activities, your bills, your Netflix, your subscriptions, your cable, your internet, your cell phone, your iPhone, the whole thing. And so to add another expense on top of your already maybe not paying you as much as you would hope side hustle is hard for a lot of people, and in most cases not very possible, And it's just like it takes me back to like this time, like when I was in college, you know what I mean? Like when I was in college, I wasn't really breaking out of my entrepreneurial shell just yet. You know what I mean? I was booking magic shows. I was making an extra $800, $600, $500 a month to spend on whatever I wanted at the time because I was only 20, 21 years old. And it was a time where that extra money was great, and you could make, back in 2012, you could make $500. That's a month's worth of food. You could easily, in 2012, just a mere 12 years ago, make $500 last a month worth of meals. Eating once or twice a day for just you alone, maybe two people, I guarantee you could have made that stretch back in 2012. People know it. People have done it. It is what it is. Like the dollar menu was still a thing. You could still get a cheeseburger at McDonald's for like $1 to $2 on any given day. The app wasn't a thing. It was still an American system that worked upwards of 10 to 12 years ago. So basically, at that time, I wasn't an entrepreneur yet, but, the people I would work for were, I got this job at a place called Scoops Deli and Ice Cream. Okay. And now, if I had to tell you anything about Scoops Deli and Ice Cream, was this place was off the chain. Okay. Now, what had happened was, this was even after, let me take you even back further to a time of 2007, 2008, when an ice cream shop by the name of Maggie Moo's was around. Okay. Some people listening know exactly what Maggie Moo's was. Some people listening remember fondly of going to an ice cream shop called Maggie Moo's, to the point maybe even your dog is even named after said ice cream shop franchise, Maggie Moo's. And at one point in time in the turn of the century, around 2010-ish, maybe a little before, maybe a little after, Maggie Moo's unfortunately could not sustain their business model. And what does America love to do more than anyone else in the world? Americans, this is what I love about America, and this is why most businesses fail. American business owners, who inevitably aren't that smart, love putting in businesses under the same umbrella that failed before them. Every single time you see a new Chinese place go in where another Chinese place was, or a diner gets converted into a Chinese place, or a nail salon gets converted into another nail salon, when the ice cream shop goes from one ice cream shop or one pizza place to another, hey, Debbie's, Manchester, turned it into what? Love and Pizza. And now I'm pretty sure that's not doing great. It may or may not be coming like a Gander Mountain, where you can buy bow and arrows and ammunition and camo and hunting supplies and anything else you might need for the outdoors, because we live where we live. And so, you know what I mean? We keep turning these businesses into the same thing, and inevitably they all fail, because that's why the first one failed, because an ice cream shop doesn't work there. And so once Maggie Moo's went under, Scoops Deli and Ice Cream came in. Two lovely gentlemen. I believe they were of the gay community, of the homosexual community. Jimothy, and I believe Chris. My friends, my long lost friends, I haven't seen them years and years and years and years. Jimmy and Chris came in and said, hey, we're going to open up Scoops Deli and Ice Cream. And they thought they could change the world. After Maggie Moo's wasn't quite doing it for the people of York County, Scoops Deli and Ice Cream thought, let us come in. We'll pretty much do the same thing they did, sell ice cream. And, we'll sell like a panini. We'll sell like a Chicago dog if we want. You want a turkey sandwich? Sure. Here's a turkey sandwich. Get some ice cream. Get a combo. $9. It was overpriced and undervalued at the same time. Scoops Deli and Ice Cream was inevitably a failure from launch, essentially. Basically, they didn't know what they were doing. They essentially didn't know how to run a business, to the point where when they were both in there all day, every day, for the first 3 to 6 months of their business being open, they then got tired of it. I think they might have hired one kid, but then he quit. Then they found me. I don't know how I found the job. I don't know where I found the job. It might have been on Facebook, might have been on Craigslist. It might have been, I have no idea how I discovered this opportunity, but I went, I applied, they loved me. And after about 3 shifts working with one of them side by side, learning how to use the ice cream machine, learning how to use the cash register, learning how the menu and the ins and outs of opening and closing the business worked, I was quickly on my own from open to close whenever I could. Whatever schedule I could accommodate, they filled in the rest. I told them when I'd be there and when I'd leave, and then they came in before or after. Or if it didn't make sense, like if I had to leave at like 6 o'clock and we didn't have any customers that day, they said, hey, just lock up, we'll hit it tomorrow. And like it got to the point where I would meet Jimmy or Chris in the morning to open the shop. They would give me the ham, they would give me the turkey, they would give me the milk for the ice cream, and I'd be set for the day. I'd make so much ice cream, I'd make so many sandwiches, I'd slice so much ham, put it in the one walk-in cooler. We had 2, but they couldn't afford to run it because the electric bill was crazy high. And so we would just put everything in there for storage, and I ran the show. I quickly became the manager, supervisor, guy who was there pretty much from open to close almost every day I could be when I didn't have class in college. And I ran it. I ran the show. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, Scoops Deli and Ice Cream, we maybe only got 1 to 4 to 5 customers on a regular daily basis. And one of those customers was like the cute redhead who worked at the hair cuttery next door, who also thought I was cute. We flirted a little bit. She would come in. I'd give her a scoop on the house. She never paid for anything. She would tip me. We'd flirt. It'd be a thing. And then like that was our customers for the day. So when I wasn't scooping out a single scoop of ice cream at a time, maybe making a sandwich, once or twice a week, some guy would come in, get a panini, get a bag of chips, take it back to his office, and that would be his lunch for the day. Other than that, I was in the back and I was either whipping up another cheesecake flavor, okay? Because all you had to do to make a cheesecake flavored ice cream was take the huge bag of cheesecake crumbles, the little cubes of like half semi-frozen cheesecake bites, and just dump them in. And so first of all, I've eaten cheesecake bites all day out of the back bag. And second of all, strawberry cheesecake, done. Regular cheesecake, done. Caramel cheesecake, add it to the regular. Now it's caramel, done. The whole first row of ice creams that summer at Scoops Deli and Ice Cream was all cheesecake variants because I was obsessed at 20 years old making cheesecake flavored ice cream. And so when I wasn't dealing with the 1 to 2 customers, half the time it was my family, half the time it was my friends. Sometimes we got an influx of people from the Outback Steakhouse that was next door because they wanted dessert. But other than that, that was it. We maybe got a grand total of 50 customers for the 9 months that they were open that I worked there. And the other time, I was in the back. I was in the back cooler that was non-functional because they couldn't afford the electric bill, let alone to run the full shop. I was in the back doing magic. I was filming magic videos using my MacBook Pro webcam. I would be in the walk-in cooler thinking that the silver backdrop was the coolest shit ever. And I was filming rope tricks, I was filming quarter tricks, and I was filming magic videos that went on my website. And for the mere price of $0, you could sign up for my Levi Sparks Magician newsletter, and you could learn the tricks for free. I was giving away free magic tricks that I filmed in the walk-in freezer of Scoops Deli and Ice Cream because they were just paying me to be there. We had no customers. They had no presence online. They had no website. They had no Facebook page. They didn't know how to market it. They just hoped and prayed that people would show up and discover how delicious this ice cream was. And so I would just be filming magic videos. I think I still have one. Do we still have one? Can we pull it up? We still have, yeah, here it is. We still have the 1/4 video that I filmed. I would teach you how to do this, right? Okay, so here, check it out. Here we go. There's no audio. I'm not speaking at all. It's just me. I take 1/4, put it in my hand, take 1/4, put it in my hand, take the other quarter, put it in my hand, and then boop, turn my hand, and the quarters are gone. And so if you signed up for my newsletter at that exact time, you would receive the tutorial video on how to do that. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, cut away, fast forward 10 seconds. You just slide the quarters off the table and pretend to put them in your hand. That's it. That's all magic is. But it's crazy, dude. I was doing magic at that time. At that time, my magic career, people were hiring me to the point where, like, not only was I teaching other people magic via the internet, on this website, everything, my YouTube channel, my mom was flying me to Vegas. I got flown to Vegas to do magic for an entire weekend, to the point where, like, I was doing magic on the plane. We were 30,000 feet in the air on a Southwest freaking jetliner doing magic. There's a video on the screen. I was doing magic for people on the plane on the way to Vegas. And like, as soon as I got there, we hit the hotel. I did magic for people on the monorail. I did magic for people in the lobby of the hotel. It was to the point where as soon as I landed in Vegas and I started doing card tricks, word spread like wildfire, to the point where only 24 hours into the trip, we got there on Friday. I did all of that magic, all that stuff that you just saw was Friday. On Saturday, they somehow got a hold of me and Mom. Sandy was getting phone calls and text messages. They were inviting us to pool parties. They were inviting us to events all weekend long, happening Saturday and Sunday. Like, when are you leaving? Levi, come perform here. Levi, come to this hotel. Levi, come here and perform. So then, to the point where on Saturday, we had to like plan. We went to breakfast. We came up with a whole plan. We looked at all the options, the times, and so we came up with a whole day. I think it even went into Sunday, a plan to do all these appearances in this magic trick, to the point where I ended up at this pool party, dude, this private Vegas pool party, to where I ended up walking. There was this chick. Oh my God. She was smoking. And I mean, when was this? I was 21. So the year was 2013, 2014, 2013, 2014. And I mean, man, I'll never forget. She had this tight little black bikini on, and she starts yelling out, "Oh my gosh, Levi, do something crazy. Do like a crazy magic. Do something insane. Do an insane magic trick for us." And I'm like, well, I can't let her down. So I walked across the water. I said, "Everyone stand back." I said, "Everyone stand back, make a path." Everyone was in the pool, right? It was a pool party. I said, "Make a way." And then I'm like, I told the chick in the black bikini who was yelling at me. Obviously, I wanted to impress her. I said, "You come here." And I started walking across the water. And I then instructed her. I said, when you get halfway through the pool, swim under me. Swim under me to prove that there's nothing here, that I'm not walking on a board or like it's fake. Swim under me. And as I'm walking across the pool, this hot as shit chick, she swims under me. I walk across the pool. Everyone loses their goddamn, I'm telling you. And then that was crazy. I went off and I did more card tricks for people. I mean, when I tell you that that was just the 24, that was just like on Saturday. Sunday, we get invited to this place and we're like, wait a minute, what is this? They're like, "We're going to take you to the roof. We're going to take you to the roof. It's a rooftop party." Okay. I'm now on the roof of the hotel. And they're like, "What can you do? What can you do?" And so like I have nothing with me. I have nothing prepared. I just thought like Sunday was going to be our chill day because it's been nonstop magic appearance, magic card tricks. This freaking Vegas trip. My birthday has become, we had like tickets to go see a show. That didn't happen because of like the appearances. We had to like forfeit those. I just gave them away to someone on the street because I had to go do, it was partial. That was like at the time I was a magician. And so I got invited to this rooftop. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anything on me. I didn't have any props or cards or literally anything a magician should have on him. And I didn't even have a Sharpie on me. And I look to my left and I see another rooftop party. They didn't want me there for some reason. I see another party going on. And I'm like, how crazy would it be if I crashed their rooftop party, right? But the only way to get there would have to be to go down, go to that hotel, get up, access to the elevator, go up, and then boom, now you're on that side, right? That's how crazy would it be? So I levitated. I stood on the edge of the building. Everyone's freaking out. My mom who's there, my stepdad who's there, he's like, Levi, get the fuck down. Levi, get down from there. Insane. I'm like, John, calm down. I tell him to calm, he was like 13 beers deep at the time. It's fine. I told John to calm down. I'm on the edge of the building. I start levitating, okay? I start levitating and I float. I literally float from one building to another. I float from the pool party that I'm being paid to appear at, and I go to the one that I'm not, hoping to collect a check. And I go over there and I levitate from one roof to another while, I don't know, maybe a few hundred random spectators are watching. And, oh man, that was pretty much it. That was it. That took it out of me. I mean, if anyone who knows, levitating drains your energy to the point where I didn't even have time to enjoy, the party. I literally had to go sit down for like 20 minutes. I had to put an ice pack on my head. Levitating takes it out of you. If you've ever done it, you know. And so it's just, man, it was one of those experiences that I'll never forget. My mom taking me to Vegas out of all people. It was wild. I went from card tricks on the plane to walking on top of pool to levitating from roof to roof. And it was one of the craziest trips. Plane ride home, more card tricks, of course. So it was just, it was a wild experience. And just going from like the freezer of Scoops Deli and ice cream doing magic to Las Vegas private pool parties, etc. One of the wildest times of my life, and I'll never forget it. And it's a wonder why I still don't do magic. It's crazy lifestyle. And Scoops pretty much after that, because I went off to Vegas and became a famous magician, Scoops closed because they couldn't keep up with it because they lost me. I was like, hey guys, I gotta go. I'm headed to Vegas to be a famous magician for 48 hours. And within that 48 hours, the business crumbled. They were closed by the time we got back. And so they were like, hey, we have sad news. We're closing. No more job. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm a famous magician now. And so I'm pretty sure, I think unfortunately one of them passed away. Jimmy or Chris, one of the owners of Scoops, I think passed away, but it's been years now. And you know what? It's inevitable because it's a Wingstop. It's now a Wingstop. If you drive by the old Scoops Deli and Ice Cream, which was my original point to begin with, Scoops Deli and Ice Cream is now a Wingstop. And so it's, that's where we're at. And that's where we're going to continue to be.